Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Godzilla Store exclusive Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 1973. Now, this version of Godzilla comes from the 1973 film Godzilla vs. Megalon, which I've talked about this movie in the past, and I said I was not a big fan of it. It's still not my favorite Godzilla movie, but I watched it again back in October of last year, and I didn't hate it as much. I thought it was okay. It's definitely not my favorite Godzilla movie. I'll be honest and say that, but it's not horrible either. Like, it's watchable anyway. I think my problem when I watched it back in 2021, I watched it dubbed, and the dub was not my favorite thing in the world, but thankfully I was able to watch it in Japanese, this October, and it was definitely better. So, yeah, Godzilla vs. Megalon, not an outright terrible movie, but it's not my personal favorite. So, yeah. And really quick, I just want to say I absolutely love this design for Godzilla, and I'm so happy that they made a Bandai vinyl of this design. I prefer his more angrier expression in movies like Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla and Terror of Mechagodzilla, but actually, coincidentally, like, as of me recording this, like, just a few hours ago, they actually just announced the Bandai Movie Monster Series, reissues of Godzilla 75 and Titanosaurus, as well as, the, Mechagodzilla that I reviewed back in, I think, 2021? Early 2022, I don't know, but either way, like, they are, like, re-releasing, like, those figures, and I think that's really cool. So I'm definitely gonna get Godzilla 75. I love Titanosaurus, but I already have a Titanosaurus Bandai vinyl, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna pick him up, but I don't know. I have been rambling on for far too long now. It's been like over 2 minutes. Let me just shut up and let's just get right into this. In Movie Monster Series tradition, I just want to take a quick look at the tag before we take a look at the figure itself. And for the cover here, we have a nice picture of Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Megalon. And really quick, I just want to say I love how he's using a telephone pole as like a toothpick. I think it's so cute. I love that. But anyway, yeah, he's also holding a tree there. At the bottom here, we have Godzilla 1973, both in Japanese and in English. We have the Godzilla 2023 emblem right here, and some more Japanese information here. On the back here, we have a nice silhouette of Godzilla's dorsal plates. Godzilla vs. Megalon, Movie Monster Series, both in English there and Japanese here. I'm assuming this says Godzilla vs. Megalon, but I could be wrong about that. But anyway, we have the Bandai logo here, and some more Japanese writing. Toho, made in China. Yeah. The inside here, we just have a bunch of Japanese, wording here, which I can't read for the life of me. I mean, obviously, like, you can see, customer service inquiries are not accepted from outside Japan. Like, that's, like, easy for me. But, like, everything else is, like, yeah, just some more Japanese writing. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for the tag. Now, going back to the figure itself, like usual, to start, we'll take a look at the paint first. And the painting here, I think, is pretty solid. Most of the figure, well, actually, all of the figure here is casted in this charcoal gray, which I think looks nice. One thing to point out really quick, the dorsal plates are painted this, like, metallic silver, which I think looks nice, but I think what also looks really nice is that they're actually, like, painted all the way to the end of the tail there, which is really cool, like, with the, the Godzilla Store exclusive Movie Monster Series Godzilla 85, they just kind of stopped painting the tail, like, right here. But no, they actually continue to paint all the way to the end of the tail, and this really does go a long way. Like, Bandai, I don't understand why you just, like, stop here. Like, just keep painting the tail all the way. Like, please. It's not much. I shouldn't, have to worry about that, but I digress. His toenails and fingernails here are painted this metallic, like, bronze color, which I think looks good. It's, kind of close to how it looked in the movie. Of course, his chest here has a bit of this, like, brownish coloration here, which I think looks nice. It would have been nice if like it was painted a little more on this side, because it's like more so on this side, but still, like, it doesn't look terrible. One last thing I want to point out are the eyes. The eyes here are painted white with black pupils, and there's a little bit of brown there in the center there, so yeah. That's pretty much it for the painting on this figure, and overall, I think the painting is pretty solid, you know, like everything, like, that should be painted is painted, even, like, the very end of the tail, which is a nice touch, because, again, Bandai, they don't really like to fully paint their Godzilla figures, you know. They're Gamera movie Monster Series figures, and they're, like, you know, Ultraman, like, Bandai vinyls, like, coming out now, like, the Ultra Hero series, like, they usually have pretty good paint apps, but it's just like the Godzilla ones. There's always something that they just kind of skimp out on, but not here. You know, the painting is pretty solid here, and you know what? You know, everything that should be painted is painted, and it's really nice. So, yeah, the painting on this figure is good. I'd say it gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation on this figure, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to say. It's a Bandai vinyl. There's not going to be a lot here. So let's just quickly get this over with. The arms can move backwards like so. And they can move forwards like so. And the legs here can move almost 360. You theoretically can make all these parts move 360, but you kind of have to not only like stress the plastic, but if you do it with the legs in particular, like you kind of, you know, scuff up against like the back of the tail here. So I wouldn't recommend moving the limbs like in a full like 360 degree like rotation. Just kind of just rotate them how, you know, how they like just naturally rotate. You don't have to flex the, you know, vinyl or anything like that. Just leave it at that. But, you know, that's pretty much it for the articulation. You know, not a whole lot, but it's a Bandai vinyl, and I think this is pretty standard for a Bandai vinyl. So overall, I'd say the articulation here gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure, I think, is pretty much perfect. You know, like, this is like one-to-one Godzilla from Godzilla vs. Megalon, you know. The proportions are on point, nothing looks too big or too small or out of place. This is, again, like, pretty close to what we see in Godzilla vs. Megalon. This isn't really a complaint, but one thing that I do think is a little weird is that the mouth is closed. I don't know, usually with, like, Godzilla Bandai vinyls, usually, like, their mouths are open, but with this figure, they kind of kept it closed. I can see why, though, because they are, you know, reissuing that, you know, Bandai movie monster series Godzilla 1975, so to sort of, like, differentiate the two, I can see why, but still, like, it's just kind of a little distracting that this guy has his mouth closed, but still, like, not a complaint. Like, overall, like, this sculpting still looks really nice, but still, it's just one thing that does throw me off a little bit, but I digress. Either way, the sculpting on this figure, again, I think is pretty much perfect, so the sculpting here, I'd say definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll take a look at the detailing, and the detailing on this figure is very solid, so let's take a closer look. So right off the bat, the head here has a lot of really nice detailing here. You know, his nostrils there are detailed nicely. And all of the bits of scaling here throughout, I think are detailed very nicely, you know. And we do get that, like, scaling throughout the figure here. On the neck here in particular, we have, like, a few, like, creases, like, in the, you know, like, in the neck here, which really gives this figure that, like, guy in a suit feel. And I think this looks really nice here. So, yeah. And again, we just get the same scaling throughout the body here, like, on the, you know, torso and on the legs here. And again, like, the lower torso here, you know, just, like, more, like, creases and, like, folds in the, you know, in the figure here to, again, give it that, like, guy in a suit feel. And again, it just looks really nice here. And same with the legs, just, like, a lot of really nice creases here. And all, like, the scaling and everything like that is detailed very nicely. Everything here is, it is defined perfectly. Again, same with the tail here. Just a lot of really nice detailing throughout. The underside, we have some creases here. And then it just kind of stops, like, there. But, yeah. The last thing to point out, the dorsal plates here have a fair bit of detailing on them as well. Everything here, like all the little bumps and like ridges throughout I think are detailed very nicely, very well defined. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the detailing on this figure, and the detailing here, pretty much perfect, so yeah, the detailing here, I'd say definitely gets a pass. Now, we'll do some size comparisons. Here we have the Bandai Movie Monster Series Jet Jaguar. Here we have the Movie Monster Series Megalon. Here we have the Bandai Creation Gigan. It is really nice to have all of the main cast for Godzilla vs Megalon here. It's nice to finally have Godzilla from Godzilla vs Megalon. I do think Gigan is a little too short. I know they have like a newer Movie Monster Series Gigan that scales better with these guys, but I don't know. I think I'm just gonna stick with this Gigan here. The one that I had since I was like 11, 10, something like that. Either way, this is my childhood Showa Gigan right here. So, yeah. Anyway, of course, here we have some hand sanitizer, and here we have Dr. Billy Grant. So at the end of the day, should you get this figure? I'd say yes. I do think this is a very nice quality figure. I think the sculpting looks great, the detailing looks great, and even the paint quality I think looks really good for a Bandai vinyl. There's not a whole lot of articulation in this guy, but it's a Bandai vinyl. What else do you expect? But still, this is a very nice quality figure. If you're not a big fan of this design for Godzilla, then I'd suggest holding off on this guy because I know Bandai, they're, making a reissue of the original movie Monster Series Godzilla 75, which, I mean, I'm definitely going to pick that up, but if you want something that looks like closer to that, then definitely wait for that figure to come out. But still, if you do like this design, then I totally recommend that you pick this guy up because for a Bandai vinyl, I think this is a very nice quality figure here. Now, as far as price tags go, this guy is a Godzilla Store exclusive, so I originally had to get this guy from somewhere else. As of me recording this video, the Godzilla Store US, like, that has, yet to, be, like, released to the public yet. Like, right now, as of me recording this, like, it's still, like, you either have to buy these guys from, like, Bai or, Awesome Collector. I got mine from Awesome Collector, but, like, when I upload this, I mean, like, the US branch of the Godzilla Store will be, available. So I don't know if this guy will be available there, but if he is, then definitely try ordering him from there because I'm sure he'll be a lot cheaper than, if you were to get him from Awesome Collector or more expensive. I don't know, but either way, I do recommend that you pick this guy up. And no matter how you find this guy, whether it be Awesome Collector or Bai or the American department of the Godzilla Store, like, definitely go for it because this is a nice figure and I do like it. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.